Hello everyone, welcome to Dream Campus. যারা যেখান থেকে দেখছেন দেশের বাইরে যেখান থেকে দেখছেন সবাইকে জানাচ্ছি আন্তরিক শুভেচ্ছা। আজকে আপনাদের সাথে আছি আমি Pramugdha চৌধুরী মোনাশ ইউনিভার্সিটি মালয়েশিয়া থেকে। আমি recently graduate করলাম with a first class honors in robotics and mechatronics engineering, and you've probably seen me in NTV Celebrity Night, so hi to whoever's watching from there. But enough about me. We have Dream Campus is a show where we have a casual chit chat with several guests who are currently studying abroad in international universities. আমরা তাদের বাইরে পড়াশোনার experiences, তাদের journeys, aspirations, dreams, future plans জানতে পারি এই প্রোগ্রামের মাধ্যমে। এই প্রোগ্রামটা definitely beneficial হবে আমাদের ভিউয়ার্সদের জন্য, as আপনারা একটা perspective পাবেন on the experiences এবং the journey students gain while studying abroad. So Shirikum, we have two very special guests with us. We have Mr. Shafee. He finished his undergraduate in International and Strategic Studies from the University of Malaysia. And currently he is doing his master's at Sciences Po Paris in International Development while working as an intern for the World Food Program in Rome. So, hi.
Hello, thank you very much for the invitation. I didn't know about this show, but seems like it's a very good initiative, and I feel honored to be a part of this show. Thank you.
And we are so very grateful to have you as well. And we also have another guest with us. Her name is Tasnim Zarrin Sabbir. She is a third year student from studying in the Department of International Relations and Strategic Studies. She's a model, a third culture child, and a branding and marketing stylist.
Thank you so
hi,
much
Tasnim.
for having me here. Hi, Momo. It's a pleasure and an honor to have be here and in this platform. And I wish we knew about this sooner and how beneficial it could be for the youth and everybody. So thank you.
I mean, this program recently got introduced. We're on our third episode now, so we're so very glad to have really pretty people with us, a very pretty model and a very handsome guy here. All right. Okay. So I've given our viewers a short intro about yourself, but I think the viewers would want to know more about you. So maybe you could tell us something about yourself. We'll start with Tasnim.
Were we starting with Shafee Bhaiya, or me?
No, we'll take turns. Like, I introduced him first, so let's start with you this time.
Okay,
or we can go with Shafee if you want.
Yeah, please. You're the one here. Go for it. Go for it first here.
Okay, thank you. So to give an introduction, there's not much to say over what the host already said, but what I'm doing is I'm doing my master's in international development at Sciences Po Paris. So it's a university that focuses on political science and international relations. And etar age I did my undergrad I did my bachelor's in international and strategic studies in University of Malaya, in the same university as Tasnim. She's my junior, my beloved junior, if I must say. And so yeah, I graduated ওখান থেকে in 2019. তো গ্রাজুয়েশনের পরপরই এখানে চলে এসেছি। তো অনেক বড় বড় প্ল্যানস ছিল, ইউরোপ ঘুরবো, অনেক কিছু করবো, বাট অফ কোর্স দ্য প্যান্ডেমিক হ্যাপেন্ড এন্ড অল মাই প্ল্যানস went down the drain. But yeah, I mean, things are okay right now. সবকিছু is working out, and I'm glad to be part of this show. It's a good opportunity. Yeah, thank you for having me here.
What about you, Tasnim?
So, as you mentioned, and as Shafee Bhaiya mentioned, he's my senior, and you're very missed here. And I have been, I'm in my third year, so I'm in my final year of my degree, International Relations. And somehow, some way, from all my seniors and our junior gulo jaderke dekhi, they are in extracurricular activities, eta korche, unity eta korche, but for some reason, our passion was very different from my major. So our passion was always to how social media is grabbing the attention of the world. And I was very interested in social media strategy. And since I guess 2016, 2017. But then when the pandemic hit and Malaysia was in a lockdown and everything, I actually felt really good about myself, or how much that I've seen that social media was the only what do you call, the tool to connect with our loved ones, and how everything took over, how the trends took over, how we got to know about the world and what was happening. So that's why I wasn't very much connected to my major in but somehow my extracurricular was related to the media and branding, and how we can get to like journalism in social media, through social media, which is actually called digital journalism, I think. So yeah, that's basically where I am at the two spectrums right now.
So what like, you're in your third year right now, so you're soon to finish. So what are your future plans? What do you plan to do on that, like education wise?
I really don't like that question at all. It gives me anxiety, ki korbo, because you never think college is going to be over soon, and then it's like the whole spectrum of things that open up to you. But jehetu ami theke graduate korchi and we are in Malaysia, so I would like to capitalize that we have spent 4 years of our lives here. So if I can do my master's here, or apply for a job here, that seems like a possibility. And maybe then river on to Canada, or where Bhaiya is, with opportunities in Paris or something like that. So yeah. So for now, I am not sure where I do want to branch out, and I'm in between looking for things that if it gives you the opportunity for journalism here, where I can use my degree, which is international relations, something like that.
That's nice. That's nice. I mean, I don't think anybody really has a plan. I mean, you have a certain idea of what you want to do, but making sure you fulfill it all is kind of hard, because a lot of things happen on the way.
Definitely.
But it's obviously good to have at least something there in the future planned out. Especially when you're almost ending, these questions are going to come to you, whether like, so what are your plans now, huh? Like, these are like common questions that get thrown at you all the time.
Yeah, if I may come in and say something, I feel like আমার যেটা realization হয়েছে এখন যে it's absolutely futile to have any plans. মানে I had lots of plans for myself, এটা করব ওটা করব, but this COVID pandemic happened and সবকিছু করে দিয়েছে. So I think for me, if I had to give an advice, is that have an open-ended plan, have some priorities, have some targets, and always be adaptable. So that's something that I think our viewers could take out of this.
Like, I'm pretty sure when you went, as you said, like, you had plans to travel around Europe, and like with pandemic happened and all. So how is that being, how has the, like, you just went to a new country, so as expected you would want to go around, meet new people, not that you're not meeting now, but more people, enjoy different kinds of food, like eat French food and all of that, and enjoy life basically. But now that the lockdown is happening and this pandemic is happening, you're stuck at home and all. So how has that been for you? Like emotionally and all?
I don't think I'm ready to talk about my mental health at this point, but I will give you a small look at it. So in a nutshell, I am very lucky because I live in a dormitory. So I'm always surrounded by friends. So I always have people to talk to. But Paris moto shohore, where it's very hard to get housing, I have a lot of friends jara choto choto apartment e thake. And ওদের জন্য it's quite difficult because they don't have interactions. So ওই ব্যাপারে আমি একটু lucky. But other than that, I would say I am missing out on a lot of things. আমি একটা internship করার কথা ছিল আমার ভালো, আমি doing my internship at a good place. I was supposed to do it physically there. Our internship, as you know, the most important part is networking করা, তো যেটা আমি করতে পারছি না. That's a big step back for me, but I'm also trying my best to make up for it in other ways. But other than that, French সরকার, I'm in France, so the French government is very has been very supportive of students. So I'm getting a lot of discount in terms of my food, in terms of my expenses. অনেক জায়গা থেকে আমি support পাচ্ছি, যেটা I probably wouldn't have got in other places, whether North America তে বলো, because I compare my friends with in North America, তো ওরা একটু বেশি, তো বিভিন্ন দিক থেকে আমি অনেক লাকি আছি. So I don't have much to complain, but staying in your apartment or staying in your dormitory for such a prolonged period of time, it does affect your mental health. So আর ওটার সাথে compare that with a bleak future in terms of our job opportunities and everything, ওই সব compare করা all I would say is it's a very challenging time for us, and a moment actually the whole society should support youth, young people, and especially students like us a lot. So এটা আর কি.
Fresh graduates too, especially if you're looking for employment
Yeah,
options.
that's
If there's any companies looking as who's also participating as a viewer, please hire fresh graduates.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta give us a
And
chance.
pay your interns. Pay your interns. That's absolutely important. Don't do unpaid internships.
Are you going through? Are you under unpaid or paid?
No, I'm fortunately in one of the few so I'm working for the World Food Program now. So it's one of the few UN organizations that actually pay their interns. So I'm very lucky on that front. They not only pay well, they pay based on which city you are in. So Paris actually they measure how much my expenses would be and ওইটার উপরে আমাকে pay করে. So I'm very lucky on that. But yeah, I have a lot of friends who are doing internships in the UN unpaid. So it must be very difficult for them.
Yeah, I mean, because in the end of the day, you're putting the same amount of effort anyways. The effort's not going down going any smaller or lesser. So, pay us. So, Tasnim, you're also doing your internship, right? I think yeah, okay. Hi, Tasnim. So, I was asking that you're also doing your internship right now, right?
No, I actually finished one of the internship before. Like when we were in the middle of the pandemic, we were like, "Ki korbo, ekhane boshe kichu korar nei." So I went and got my internship and did an internship in what I mentioned in Newswave. And I'm actually one of those another fortunate ones that was paid, even though it wasn't under it wasn't under any organization. They saw my CV and they hired me. There was I was very fortunate having that. So yeah, that's about it. And it was pretty cool. I got to learn so much. And because we were in the middle of a pandemic, my boss or the team, shout out to Newswave, they were very, very, very accepting of internationals, which I did not expect that they will be. But it was pretty cool.
I mean, it is hard it's already hard for students to get a job. And then if you're an international, it just makes situations a little harder. So when you have companies which give you the opportunity and help you and support you and all, and actually hire you with your credibility, not because you're an international, it's truly really nice.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And that's what COVID actually taught us a lot of things, that when you think things are fine and permanent, and all of a sudden our students are shobai Malaysia the lockdown e chole gelam and we can't travel back home, and you look at your family in a little bit different way. Yeah.
I was going to ask you on that. I asked Shafee this, that, how is he doing emotionally being away from family and with all this lockdown and all. How has it been for you in Malaysia?
In Malaysia, actually, they did amazing. Malaysia combating the whole COVID situation has been pretty impressive than other countries that you think then they didn't, and it was not that aggressive. And somehow the population of Malaysia jeta dekhlam je shobai ki bolbo kotha shune jodi bole stay home, people do stay home. They don't revolve, they don't go around and go like COVID who. But and somehow we did pretty darn well. But ওই টাইমটা যে 7 মাস ছিল that we were in a lockdown and we were home, at one point it was, at the beginning it was really cool. All of us are like online classes, we don't have to dress up and everything like that. But prolonged amount of time, it did and it did take a mental toll on us. People, I haven't gone through depression or anxiety or in a way, but I have seen people go through it and what locked spaces can do to you as a person. It makes you think a lot of things that normally in an everyday life we wouldn't think. So for me, it's been really nice, I guess. I've been telling my friends like this, and even Shafee Bhai knows that about myself as well, that when you realize quarantine is your lifestyle, so it has been. I am an indoor cat. I love being indoors. So it was, I don't know, it just went by for me.
I mean, I mean, I think it depends on the person, like how you see it. Like some people see it as a positive thing, let's, build on the skills, start cooking, then start networking and,
Yeah,
programming and all
that's
that.
what
And
I
some
did.
people are like, let me out of the house.
Yeah, I miss traveling though. এটা আমি অনেক বেশি miss করি, like how you live in Malaysia as well, and you know that how much
I
it's
was
easy
born
for
and
us
brought
to
up
just
here. So
take a
yeah.
trip to Abu Dhabi, Malacca. We went on the beach, so we can't do that. So I miss that. I do on the holidays.
So I mean, in the end of the day, it's basically how someone copes with the situation. But one thing about universities, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure Shafee would also agree with me on this, is that they have counseling guidances and all. So like if you're down and all, you can always seek assistance or help from them. And
Yeah,
like
we did.
I know.
UM UM did give us a lot of relief, or I don't like help regarding the groceries and everything. বাসায় পাঠায় দিয়েছিল, like you write down the address and they send us food, they send us help over, they send like the international and non-international. They did give a lot of what do you call allowance to যারা বাসায় যেতে পারতেছে না বা যারা they can't go back to their country. So এটার জন্য that Shafee bhai যেটা বললো, it reminded me that we did also get a lot of help from UM as well when it comes to groceries and everyday allowance. It wasn't a lot, but we are a lot of students, but even the smallest help counted during that time.
I
Absolutely.
mean, a small help goes a long way, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so one question that I have is that since both of you guys are and have done your undergraduate from UM, so the first question that pops up is that why UM? I mean, since you came to Malaysia, have like no, actually no. You know what? Let's go a step back. Why Malaysia? Why did you choose Malaysia to study?
Why Malaysia?
Yeah.
Shafee bhai, do you want to
I let him start. Yeah.
I am going to be honest and just say that Malaysia was never my first choice. I always wanted to go to the US, of course, but unfortunately, our high school grades, in addition to how much my family could afford and everything, সবকিছু মিলায়, US was not being a feasible choice. So I had to go somewhere, right? And Malaysia, UM was one of the few universities, the good ones, that were willing to take me, and also I got a subject that I was to a certain extent interested in. So Ami, before I went to I did 2 semesters in North South Bangladesh. I was doing business there. I wasn't really fitting in. I was having a hard time. But so UM and Malaysia came at a point in my life where it really, it was a good opportunity. So I just didn't think too much. I just went. Of course, I was lucky because my family could afford it and all that. But so that's why I went to Malaysia, and it was an absolutely amazing decision. I made my best friends there. I think Porashonar Kotha Bad Diye, I made my best memories there. Malaysia is such a wonderful country, such a diverse country in terms of food, in terms of people, in terms of culture, in terms of affordability. So Shopkichu Milai, I think Malaysia was an amazing decision. Over.
And then now you're doing your masters in France. Why France?
So another good question. So masters, I wanted to do. I worked really hard. আমার পড়াশোনার জন্য. So I wanted to do my studies for political science and international relations in a top 5 school ranking it চিন্তা করতে. And top 5 school তো USA, UK তো আছে, but they're super expensive or scholarship opportunities কম. So France, I found a university that's in the top 5, and it was also very affordable. আর আমাকে একটা scholarship দিছে. So again, coming back to the same thing, affordable and quality.
I mean, one thing that is really important about, studying abroad is the expenses, because
Yes.
there is the tuition fees and there's your living expenses. And then like, besides like simple stuff, like, if you want to travel somewhere, you need money for that. And like comparing it with the currency change, the money change, it's a really big difference. So one must really look into the expenses. And then, of course, you have to look at the university to make sure you're in a good position, or else, from my point of view, I think it's sort of like a waste of time and money, because ultimately, you're still investing a lot in it, like your expenses and all, you're still investing interesting a lot. So yeah, but okay, you know what? Enough about me. How about you, Tasnim? Oh, one more thing. As I said in the beginning, you're a third culture child, right? So maybe you can add on to that, to how you went from Kuwait to Bangladesh to Malaysia.
Yeah. So what happened was that because of my dad's job, he is in the military, so we had to shift to Kuwait, and that actually opened a lot of door for me because you get to see the lifestyle of the Middle East that often, and that gave me a lot of perspective of both, let's say, lifestyle and the religion itself. And why Malaysia was because I did have some opportunities to travel around, and Ami Amar Foundation Inti Theke Korechilam. So I was in Malaysia, I guess around 2017-ish, 2016, and I basically fell in love with Malaysia because having three cultures blended in together, and let's not even go to other populations, just their main three cultures, and blended in one country. And so much of tourism, so much, you never feel like you don't belong here. You feel that you belong here. You feel like somehow, somewhere you'll find your community. So I was dead on straight. আমি এখান থেকেই আমার graduation, but I'll do my bachelor's or do my grad school here because I fell in love with the culture and the opportunities. And Shafee bhai jeta bollo that Malaysia gives you a lot of opportunities because you never feel you don't belong here. And amra, from coming from Bangladesh, we find a lot of Bengali community as well. So you do find your friends here no matter where you go. Like, I never thought I'm going to meet you and this is going to happen and you're from another university. So the whole connections and the contacts of the country just made me feel like, okay, I guess I'll do amazing here. And it's not that much because my mom and my dad both travel a lot. So it wasn't that far away from home. I could easily go to Kuwait. I could easily go back to Bangladesh.
Yeah.
So location itself made me Abu bollo je tumi you can go to US if you want to, but I mean eto frequently travel korte parbo na. I mean back in the day no one thought that we would be hit by COVID and emnitei travel korte parbo na, but still, like, I thought going back and forth would be so easy and affordable. And no matter how much your parents can afford, there is a responsibility we children have towards them. Just because opportunity diche, you can't just be like, okay, let's go for that. So after thinking, I was like, Jannah, Malaysia seems like a very feasible option and very affordable option for me. And especially you know, it's their state university. It's pretty cool to be a part of it. So
So how is it like to, you know, coming to Malaysia, adapting into a completely different culture, different languages and all? How is it? Shafee,
Malaysia.
Oh, okay. All right.
Shall I go?
Yeah, please go.
Malaysia seems, you know, you say that it's very different, but it feels like somehow Bangladesh 2.0. For me, I don't know, Jay. The roads, the nature, there's no, for, like, let's say for Shafee Bhaiya in Paris, it would be, the temperature would be so different, or the environment is so different, you're not used to it. But Malaysia, it's a tropical country. The food is almost same as Bangladesh, or we are used to of the Indian cuisine or Indian side of the spectrum of the, I don't know, population and everything. So it seemed, first it was a culture shock for me a little bit, how people would think that one of the things that I faced personally was people were surprised that I was a Muslim. They did not understand the notion, Bangladesh, Islam, or as girls, how were we back in the country? And especially when they were like, oh, you're from Kuwait as well. So, you know, do you guys don't wear hijab or how things go? And I'm like, no, it's just how it's a choice that we have that Malaysia, I guess that was the thing, as PC as I could go, that when I was questioned that, oh, you're a Muslim, you don't look like that, or you don't dress like that. But rather than that, it was just, everyone's like, oh, you're from Bangladesh, okay, you know, we have a lot here. So that was very cool. They were so adaptive. So I could adapt very fast.
What about you, Shafee?
Yeah, I mean, so I had a very similar experience to Tasneem Malaysia. Malaysia integrate kora and then adopting was not a big problem at all. And of course, I come from a male privilege, so of course, no one asked me why are you not wearing a hijab, so I can understand Tasneem's pain.
It's just so unfair, I tell you. Males
And
don't get questioned.
yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
am very lucky. I acknowledge my privilege, of course. But so I mean, Oita is something there, but in every sense, Malaysia was a second home for me. Not talking about the second home visa thing, but yeah, it was in many senses second home for me because I had a Bangladeshi community there, which I miss very much
Yeah.
in France. I had amazing friends. Malaysians, I think, are very, very, very warm people, and of course, Islam, Amader, because I'm a Muslim, তো আমাদের যে Islamic culture যে exchanges গুলো হয়, so I was able to fit in very easily. I could spend Ramadan 1 month without problem, without facing other problems. So every problem that I did not face or ever in Malaysia, I'm facing them in France. এখানে very few people speak English, so I'm forced to learn the language, I think, which has its advantages and disadvantages.
So have you mastered it, or you're still in
No,
like early
I wish
stages?
I mastered it. I wish. So, like I said, I live in a dormitory. Jekan, it's full of international people. So I'm in a very nice, beautiful bubble, a very protective bubble. Jekan, I'm not
Protected from all the French.
exactly. I'm not forced to speak the French language, but I
Comment ça va? Ça va bien?
Ça va bien. Et toi? So yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think culturally, France is also very international. Paris is very international. So, but integration is difficult. It's a different process because at least Malaysia was in Asia. So Malaysia tonic similarities. I'm Bangladeshi. So of course, first of all, the question that I have to deal with isn't Bangladesh a part of India? So of course, I go into a whole history lesson. No, in 1947. So a
Yeah,
question.
you're imparting knowledge. I think that is a good thing.
Yeah, but it's very stressful. So there's that. আর ওইটা ছাড়া, but yeah, I think people in general, I'm a very optimistic person. People in general are warm and receptive. You just have to figure out how to make them warm and receptive. So এখানে একটু difficult হয় এখানে because it's a more different culture, but it's a still ongoing process আর কি. Wish me luck.
I mean, you're still in it's the whole corona's, declining, and also I think it's about time soon enough you'll be going out of the house, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, I wanted to ask you guys this, that as you both said that you guys have been a part of the Bangladeshi community in Malaysia. So have you guys been part of any, it's a lot of Bangladeshi cultural programs or like activities that happen, like we have the Poila Boishak, we have all sorts of things. In fact, University of Malaya also at one point of time they used to organize the Bangladeshi Students' Night.
Yeah.
So were you guys part of it, or like part of the committee, or have you participated in the performances?
Dustin, you want to go?
I am not directly a part of it because, as I said, that I would always be like, Shafee bhaiyer kach theke onek boka khaisi during the whole 1 year that he was here. I'm ashina, I'm participate kori na, I'm just there when the situation or the function is there. I'm just there with the sari, with the kameez and everything, looking good and all of that. But the whole process, bhaiyara, it's like they're sweating, boots shadache and everything, and I'm nowhere around that. But Shafee and Shafee batch has been what I know of that actively part on building that community, building that Bengali community. I don't know before them koto boro chilo the Bengali community, but amra amader batchta jokhon ashlo, it was a full-fledged community that of the lines of seniors and the juniors after us. But we do have the cultural nights. It's actually one of the most prominent is Yumi Caf. So it's where all the cultures come together, and you have one booth of each country and you represent your country. And it's a whole 2-day process with a competition, performances. And that is, I miss that right now I'm having like
Nice. You
FOMO.
get to showcase everything about your culture and land. You get to learn about different people
Yeah,
also.
and then people from other cultures, they come to your booth, the Egyptians, the Indians, the Pakistanis, everywhere. And they come to your booth, they have this Bengali flag on their face. So
Yeah,
it's just, I miss all of that. And was always very big on celebrating cultures in a way. And that's why we have so many activities that we could have done. But the whole structure and the discipline of the situation, Shafee Bhaiya can say, and Bhaiya bhalo bolte parbe on this, I was always not there.
All right,
So
Shafee. So I think, yeah.
yeah, I'll just keep it short. Tasnim একটু আমাকে বেশি credit দিচ্ছে. I was also a bit like Tasnim. Like I would wait until the day, and then I would make sure that I'm very glamorous, wearing a Punjabi or whatever, and then killing it with the pictures and everything. But in terms of actually But in terms of actually doing the work, I wasn't that much participative. I wasn't that participative. But my friends were. My friend Arman, Hiba, Udoy, they were very much part of it. Ora organization e bolo, cultural part e bolo. So ওদের হার্ড ওয়ার্কের বেনিফিটস গুলো আমি পাইছি, and I would like to say that আমাদের আগে যে দুই তিন ব্যাচে সিনিয়র ছিল, they were the one who really initiated BSN. They were the one who made the networks, who got the sponsors.
Yeah, like Haidar Bhaiya and all, Rashik Bhaiya and all. He was like the founder of it, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
they actually built the community. হ্যাঁ, which we were a beneficiary of, and আমাদের থেকে তাসনিমদের ব্যাচটা আরো better beneficiary because they got hold of a very nice structure that they could use. And I'm very proud যে আমাদের যে legacy ছিল এটা তাসনিমরা and ওদের ব্যাচটা they're continuing it, and hopefully it will continue. But like I said, it was a very nice initiative. It was being part of a family. এটা আমি এখানে ফ্রান্সে পাচ্ছি না, but yeah, you only realize how good something is until you
When
you know
it's
you
not
use
done.
it. Yeah, so that's how it is.
So thank you. That was really nice. Like I truly enjoyed talking to the both of you. It brought back a lot of memories for me. Also, like how Tasnim was saying that you have that cultural night where you have different booths and all, and then we used to have this mini competition. Like we had to be better than the other countries, so we had to do all these performances to be like. It was a healthy competition, but all in all, they're good memories. People move on. So before going, we're almost in the end of the show. So before going, I wanted to ask you guys to share a bit of advice you can give to the viewers, to our viewers who are planning to study abroad. Like what's the do's and the don'ts? We'll start with Shafee Bhaiya.
Oh man, I could write a thesis about it, like a 10-page book.
Make it a summary.
Yeah. So if I make a summary, যেটা তাসনিম বলছিল, I want to reiterate that before you go, know that বাইরে is very expensive, and it's I mean not very expensive, but always think of the affordability. And affordability মানে look at what you want to study and what are the job prospects after it. মানে if you're making an investment, yeah, so $40,000 $50,000 the America যাচ্ছ, if you can afford it, no problem, but be realistic. What are the chances of getting a job? Talk to people. That's the most important. Before you go, যেখানে যাচ্ছ, ইউনিভার্সিটিতে, যে সিটিতে যাচ্ছ, connect with people. এখন social media আছে, সবার সাথে connect করো, talk to people, be informed. I know so many people যারা just বিদেশ যাবে দেখে expectations আসে, and then they have their whole life ruined. Don't do that. So that's one advice that I would give. Tasnim, go ahead.
One of the things, Bhaiya said it all actually, but one of the greatest things that I would rather say is that a lot of the youngsters, Jara, Jai, Baire, they have this unrealistic expectations about how, the big dream, the big American dream, or things like that. And they're not practical enough. You have to do a lot of things like living alone, doing your own laundry, managing the rent, the electricity, everything. It's not glamorous all the time, and that's when a lot of the people drop out and সাথে সাথে চলে যায় যে না চাকরি করতে হবে, and then we have to look for a job. They end up in, let's say, McDonald's or a cafe or whatever it is, and they don't focus on finishing what they started and what they came from. So to be realistic about this and to actually see, there's a lot of videos on YouTube about other shows that Student Life 101. So please be aware of that it gets up when push comes to shove. It's not as glamorous or living alone or living together in a dorm looks like. So just stick to it, graduate, and then the rest of your life. That's about it.
So basically, do your research well. Do your research well, viewers. Know what you're doing. Don't just jump because you see everything is pretty from the front. Don't judge a book by its cover, basically.
Don't judge Tasneem by her Instagram account. She might look very glamorous
Yes,
there,
I
but
was thinking.
she put a lot of hard work into it. That's my point.
I mean, she is into social media and all, right? She likes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually very, I'm actually very, no, to be honest, I'm really happy to have the both of you here with me because I truly enjoyed the show today. It's one of the good shows I had. So thank you for being with us. Thank you, thank you, Tasnim. Thank you, Shafee. And Shafee, thank you for giving us the time. Before the show, you have told us that you have to leave soon. So despite, having to, set a meeting with your boss, but, still managing your time before that. Thank you for that. And Tasnim, thank you. What?
What?
No, I was telling Shafee to go kill it because that's one of the hardest part that he's here on a show, but he knows that he has to go for a boss meeting right now.
Yeah, I mean, that is scary because you never know what you might be getting from that. Like, bosses.
Actually, I have to talk about my deadlines and my assignments that are due tomorrow, and I'm a bit behind, so it's going to be an intense session. So wish me luck.
No worry, good luck. You got this.
Thank you.
You got this. I hope me and Tasnim have managed to at least lift you up a bit, lift your spirits up to get going.
I'm motivated. Right.
All right. So seriously, guys, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to NTV as well for bringing us such fabulous guests for us.
Definitely.
And so যাওয়ার আগে I want to tell all our audiences যে thank you for watching the show. আমাদের এই শোটা প্রত্যেক Wednesday তে stream হবে, so do tune in, like it, share it, comment, and আমাদের সাথে সবসময় থাকবেন because your support counts and encourages us to do better. So please be with us. And যাওয়ার আগে I want to thank Mr. Kaisar Hamid Hannan for giving us the platform, as well as Mr. Babu. He's our for assisting us backstage. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you, viewers. Corona Kali, I know it's a little hard, so like try your best to be positive, and সবাই আপনারা ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন, and again we'll see you next week. So goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.